morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is our Good Tues Newsday. Are you ready for all the good news you need to hear about this week? We've got animals, we've got people, we've got the universe. I guess not the universe, the planet. The planet has some good news for us. It's pregnant. No, that's not.
And I'm over here coughing up a lung. Hold on, let me
This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our news 10 to 15 minutes before we've started. We haven't had any caffeine, or we just did have caffeine. I've had some caffeine. We're learning how to read our news stories live on stream, so let's get into our headlines for today's show. Today on Good Tues Newsday, dogs are being trained to track elusive spotted lanternfly and save crops from devastation. And Ocelot and Opossum identified as unlikely friends after footage shows them strolling about together.
Happy Good Tues Newsday from the United States. We're going to talk about the Edinburgh Repair Fair, or what they call it, Edinburgh's Festival of Repair.
Yu Zidi is only 12, but she stuns the swim world with some of the year's fastest times. And two halves of the same fossil stored at different museums reunited to form a new species.
And more good news on Good Tues Newsday as we talk about dead vehicle batteries, supposedly being used to power AI. Plus, hold on to something, because the Earth is going to spin slightly faster today.
In my culture news, greatest teen movie ever. Why Angus, Thongs, and Perfect Snogging is Anna Ryan's favorite feel-good movie.
And it's National Hammock Day, so kick up your feet, get in your hammock, and stay tuned for another hour of greatness on July 22nd, 2025 on Before Coffee.
30 extra minutes of us talking for way too long about whatever we're talking about before the show starts.
Or technical glitches. Oh, wait, everything stopped.
Let us know about the audio, because I've just turned off all the noise suppression in a vain attempt to be able. I did not realize we weren't hearing the noise, like the soundboard and stuff. I was trying to figure out why, whenever I said and, it was getting cut off, and I think it was OBS's sound cancellation, just being like, that's too high pitched. It's not allowed. My voice is too high-pitched. Only men are allowed to speak. No, because even my sentences would be getting cut off, and when I get excited, right? I would speak in a higher octave, and then my voice would just... the whole sentence would be just gone. I can't hear any of your soundboard stuff.
No?
Yeah, no.
None of that? Okay.
But I don't know if it's... You might have to turn off Discord's noise cancellation, I guess.
Yeah, what I'll probably do if I try it again is I'll run a cable directly to the audio box. That way it won't have to go through the microphone.
Yeah, but if it's going through the microphone, it might be getting canceled out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm going to bypass the microphone is what I'm saying. I have another input that is not being used in my box that's next to the input for the mic jack. It's for musical instruments, because this thing is for recording.
Yeah.
Music. Right? It's interface that you use with Pro Tools. Anyway,
this dude, you have a better audio system than me, and I'm like the professional streamer. It's great. I just have a USB microphone I have plugged in. Suppressor, compressor. No, I'm not using any of that.
I'm going to set up a freaking another computer to just record my video, so maybe I can throw it up there somehow. I don't know. I'm not technical. I'm a technician. I'm not technically savvy enough.
Is a technician. I'm not a technical guy, but technician.
I'm not a recording studio guy, but I'm learning.
Yeah, but I know you already understand how cables work and how they connect with each other and decibels, and you had to learn about that stuff for radio. So.
And again, I'm 62, so I've lost my higher frequencies in my ears already. Like if somebody thought years ago, this is like 7 years ago, I was at a restaurant and this the waitress got really excited when she read the specials. So I said, go way up here, and I could not hear it. She'd be talking at such a high frequency, her lips were moving, and I couldn't hear it. I was I'm going deaf.
She's throwing out whistle notes over here about the creme brulee or whatever. The creme brulee is really good. Starts whistle noting.
And I look across at the person I'm meeting with, and their hands are over their ears because her voice is hurting their ear.
Yeah, that's true. There's so much old people around here that they have these weird high-pitched things that are motion activated, I guess, to get cats out of their yard. The only thing it does is give everyone young in the neighborhood fucking headaches because every time people walk past, it goes. Yeah. And I'm like, God, I can't sleep at night.
You got something on old people.
Yeah.
One of the many, many advantages to being young. Yay! Enjoy it.
Well, don't worry. 30 years and I'll be where you're sitting today. Let's roll our segue wheel before we talk for 10 more minutes about nothing.
Huh? Speak up. I can't hear you.
I listen to enough loud rock music that I know I have tinnitus. Our segue is, speaking of songs...
I've lost my high frequencies. I lost the high frequencies, but I had great hearing otherwise.
Okay.
Anyway, so.
Speaking of songs, I'm going to have to remind you of a song, so I hope you have a song about dogs and ocelots, and maybe even a possum. Is it opossum or possum? One of them is called opossum, and the other one's called possum.
I don't know which one it is. You got to be crazy. Gotta have a real need. Gotta sleep on your toes.
Not yet. Let me read the story first.
All right.
This is from Andy Corbley on Good News Network. I think all my stories are from Good News Network today, except for one. So thanks again for Andy Corbley for scouring the internet and finding all these stories that are probably only in local newspapers or something. A real-world trial at Virginia Tech has shown that ordinary dogs and their owners can help combat a major invasive insect species from taking hold in their communities. The spotted lanternfly, native to Asia, was first detected in Pennsylvania in 2014. Since then, it's spread rapidly to 18 states, laying its eggs on trees, stone, lumber, and even cars and trailers where it can hitch a ride to a new home. Catching the bug early is key. But finding its egg masses is no easy task. That's where your dog comes in. With a sense of smell that's tens of thousands of times more acute than a human's, dogs can be trained to sniff out spotted lanternfly egg masses without disturbing the environment. They often resemble mud smears or lichen and are tucked into bark crevices, cracks, or hidden underside, said Misoho Nita, a plant pathologist at Virginia Tech, who authored the results of the field study. Finding them is like searching for a needle in a haystack. Well, lucky for us, dogs, which this is a fun fact, I don't know the actual thing, but I think it said something along the lines of, dogs can smell 1 gram of blood in the ocean or something like that. Or was that sharks? But dogs can definitely smell the salt in the ocean more than humans can. I think it was something like that. Like they can actually smell the salinity in the ocean. That's how strong their nose is.
Sharks are the dogs of the sea.
Yeah, sharks are dogs of the sea, yeah. Previous research has shown that professional conservation detection dogs can find them quite often. But professional dogs are expensive, and there aren't nearly enough of them to cover a growing threat. That's where Sally Dixon, the lead author of the study, who recently obtained her PhD from Virginia Tech's College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, thought they might be able to enlist the help of citizen scientists. With proper training, dog owners can turn their pets into powerful partners for conservation, Dixon said. Many dog owners participate in sporting sense games, teaching their dogs to track different scents and having a scavenger hunt to enrich their companions' lives. Even if the breed isn't bred specifically for following scent trails, most dogs can do it. 182 human dog teams from across the U.S. were selected and given devitalized, that is, non-hatching, lanternfly egg masses as training aids. Participants trained their dogs at home in a small group with oversight from a designated local trainer. After several months of training, the dogs were put to test in 2 environments, one indoor and one outdoor. In the controlled indoor environment, dogs had to complete an odor recognition test, identifying the box with a spotted lanternfly egg mass from among multiple boxes with other items and scents. Oh, it's like Christmas for dogs. Find the scent, boy! Give you a treat. I'll give you a cake. Those that passed the odor recognition test advanced to a field test, where they had to find the scents in an outdoor environment with competing smells. The participant dogs correctly identified the egg masses 82% of the time in the control test and 61% in the real-world test. This was still better than the rates of success for human-only searches. Of the dogs that passed both tests, 92% were successful in finding live egg masses with minimal extra training. You got some good sniffers out there. These teams demonstrated that citizen scientists and their dogs can play a meaningful role in protecting agriculture and the environment from invasive species, said Sally Dixon, the study's lead author. In vineyards, orchards, and arable acreage of all sorts, the lanternfly is devastating crops and fields. Any resistance is better than no resistance. If that means keeping your dog alert and ready to sniff out the invader on a walk through the park or forest, it can make the difference between your local farmer making a profit or making a loss this harvest season. So if you care about your local farmers, there's something you can actually do for them instead of, just protesting. Not that protests are useless, but I'm just saying this is like a way to get into your community and help them out. Because I know there's a lot of people who live near, I live near farmers, right? But I'm not helping pick the Brussels sprouts. They don't need help with picking the Brussels sprouts. I have machines for that now. You just comb the ground and shovel it all in. But
they need somebody to operate the machines and repair the machines. Hey, I don't know. Probably pays a lot more.
Of forklift. There's a lot of forklift work here, but I don't know if I want to get my forklifting license.
Yeah, forklifts are kind of fun.
There. Remind me of a song?
I used to drive one, but I was never licensed. Dogs by Pink Floyd. You've got to be crazy. Gotta have a real need. Gotta sleep on your toes. And when you're on the street, you got to be able to pick up easy meat with your eyes closed. Right, dogs, right? Don't need their eyes. Their eyes don't work that good anyway. They use their noses to
they're colorblind.
Right? There you go.
Yeah, they gotta catch those latch fly egg masses.
Right. Some dogs have better vision than others, but they're not known for their great vision. They're known for their great noses and ears, right?
They can hear a lot.
All right, there's your...
speaking of more animals, things that can see in the dark, I guess. We're going to talk about an unlikely friendship between an ocelot and an opossum, identified as footage of seeing them stroll together. This is also by Andy Corbally on Good News Network. What happened when a wildcat and a small mammal met in a park? Dinner! This joke isn't only terrible, it's actually wrong. Scientists' camera tapping in the Amazon revealed an extraordinary behavioral trend between a wildcat species called an ocelot and an opossum. The multiple videos show two animals walking about like old friends, the scientists mused. The video is captured by a team of scientists from Germany and Peru working at the Kocha Kashu Biological Station in Peru's Manu National Park. They had intended to study the behavior of birds, but in reviewing their footage, they witnessed the predatory feline walking at a relaxed pace behind a common opossum and knew they had to change focus. After walking out of shot along a trail, the both returned 2 minutes later in the same order, but heading in the opposite direction. The scientists had to know more. They began soliciting their fellow researchers, and soon it became clear that this wasn't an one-off event. Published in the journal Ecosphere, the scientist reports 4 separate recorded instances of this behavior. Ocelots are well known to prey on opossums, but each of the 4 events took place in a different region of the Peruvian Amazon, which means they weren't the same ocelot and opossum. It was 4 different ones. Guaranteeing that this isn't the same 2 animals. Additionally, the instances spanned from 2019 to 23. In the third known instance, recorded in 22, at the El Gato concession. That's perfect. We're studying in cats here. El Gato concession. In the state of Madre de Dios, the ocelot and opossum were captured not only walking together, but also interacting. It seems the ocelot might have pounced on the opossum, But then prior to the interaction, the opossum displayed no indication of wariness towards its strange acquaintance. Even though we still do not know if this is the case, we could be witnessing the Southern American counterpart to the well-known partnership between coyotes and badgers in North America, explains Dr. Isabel Damas Moriera, behavioral ecologist at the Faculty of Biology in Bielefeld University, Germany, and senior author of the study. Such cooperations are particularly fascinating because they can show that these relationships can develop even between unrelated species. Using additional experiments in the wild, they have found that opossums have a clear attraction to the scent of ocelots, on which they often rub themselves against, ignoring other scent samples, such as those of pumas. This suggests a deliberate attraction to ocelots. But what could explain the association? Damas Moriera and her team involved in the discovery have two hypotheses. The first is that the ocelot, which could simply make a meal of the arboreal marsupial, benefits in some way from the latter's foraging behavior. The second is that the ocelot, which hunts at night, benefits from the potential blending between its natural scent and that of the opossum, fooling potential prey. This discovery was accidental. It reminds us of how important it is to observe closely, because nature is often complex, more complex than we think, says Damas Moriera in a statement from a university. And then there's a little video. Just imagine trail footage, black and white, ocelot following an opossum from behind, and not any aggression at all. Pretty self-explanatory there. But very cool. And this is what you would call a symbiotic relationship for any non-biologists out there. It's when two species who don't, usually have nothing to do with each other, can get something out of their relationship, and they kind of hang out together because of that. Another good example of that is the fish that cleaned the shark's teeth, right? The shark is not, or the shrimp, right? They're not going to eat you because, hey, you cleaned my teeth. Thanks, buddy. I'm not going to eat you because you cleaned my teeth with my toothbrush. I'm not going to eat you.
The birds that live on rhinoceroses. Right?
Yeah, that's another good example of one. Yeah,
parasites. They eat parasites right off the rhinoceros' ears, and rhinoceros like, thanks, buddy.
Give them shades too,
Right. Big old birds eating your parasites. Yay!
Free food. You don't have to hunt for it. It's right here on your body.
Here, birdie. Okay, so this reminds me of Brand New Key, a symbiotic relationship. The song Brand New Key by Melanie, the folk singer Melanie, her sister. I've got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you've got a brand new key, which again was a double entendre for sex, but in this case, it was a symbiotic relationship. All right. Anyway,
we both got something that was going to work for us. Let's put them together. Hell yeah!
I was going to do The Cat Came Back. Which is an old funny song about the cat. People trying to get rid of the cat. Everything happens to this cat. The cat just keeps coming back. Yeah. Every verse, 10 verses of the cat. Oh, it killed me yet. I'm still here. All right.
My next segue is tell a joke. So I'm going to tell a joke about your next story. I think it's 2 stories, right?
All right. We're going to do one story. Okay, just one story. I'll do 2 stories in the second one. All right. So this is positive.news. Tom Pattinson. I always relate to that guy from the Twilight series, right? Isn't that his last name?
Robert Pattinson?
Anyway. Yeah. From broken things to bold ideas, Edinburgh Festival of Repair, which I have redubbed the Repair Fair because that is so much better in name. The Edinburgh International Book Festival is from 9 to 24 August with a program themed around repair. Festival CEO Jenny Niven explains why mending what's broken in society, the environment, and ourselves is an urgent conversation we need. Now in its 46th year, the Edinburgh International Book Festival returns to 2 weeks in August, bringing together authors and literary fans from across the globe. We spoke to the festival CEO Jenny Niven about this year's theme. Repair aims to shed light on. We believe that dialogue and discussion are a positive and hopeful thing in and of itself. I can feel at the moment like there is just an onslaught of difficult news and irresolvable conflict. But amongst all of that, there are also brilliant thinkers and great ideas in the world about how we can move. We might be able to do things differently. So our program aims to showcase some of the terrific books that help convey those ideas, and also remind people getting offline and being face-to-face with other people, even ones you always don't agree with, can be fun, uplifting, and even cathartic thing to do. Here's the problem. I'm fine with people I don't disagree with. They are the one with the problem. They don't want to live in reality. Okay? If I can't
this is the problem with cultists. Yeah.
Right. It's like, how do I even reach somebody that just has their own set of reality? What are you talking about?
If I want to go on a really quick tangent real quick, I read a thread while I was, before the show, because I always go on social media only before and at the end of the day. But I read a thread by a person who voted for Trump in 2016 because she was 18 and her family just said, vote red. And she's like, I don't know what's going on. I wasn't even going to vote at all because I didn't know anything, what was happening. She was busy with life. She was 18, whatever. Whatever excuses. Point is, her excuses is she voted for red because she didn't know any better. And she trusted, right? This is her problem. She trusted what people were telling her, right? Without questioning it. Oh, the rain is turning the frogs gay. I believe you because you sound like you know what you're talking about. But here's what happened to her, right? This is what happened to her.
Yeah, okay.
She went to school for biogenetic, basically vaccines, okay? She learned what vaccines are. She learned how they worked. She went to school studying science, and she was like, wait a minute, Trump is saying all this bullshit about the vaccine being poison and you don't need it and COVID is perfectly safe and you won't die. Wait a minute, this isn't true. I'm literally studying this shit right now. And that's what opened her eyes.
Right.
To the idea that, wait a minute, I'm in a fucking cult. Everyone around me, my whole family, this whole family disowned her because they all believe everything, right? They all believe everything without questioning it, not looking, so. Exactly what you're saying, right? They're in a cult. They don't believe anything that isn't told from their cult leader. That's kind of what your point was, right? You can't help these people if they don't want to be helped. They don't think they need help.
I can't help them. My short, I guess you want to call it anecdote, is the other day somebody put I think it was Atlantic or somebody put an article on Facebook said, how you should not disavow your right-wing family members. And I don't disavow my right-wing family members. I talk to my right-wing family members. They hate Trump too. Dick Cheney is right-wing. He hates Trump. Liz Cheney is right-wing, hates Trump. Mike Pence, right-wing, hates Trump. It's not the right-wing that's the problem. It's the idiots.
The cultists.
Idiots. Don't you get it? Come on, guys. Get with us here. The idiots, not right-wing. It's just stupid people. Trump's not right-wing. You think Trump's right-wing? Trump has paid for more abortions than I have ever heard of. Okay? Anyway. He's not right-wing.
It's the cultists,
Get over yourselves, idiots.
These are the people
He's not on your side. Yeah. You're
not the right wing versus the left wing. It's the cultists versus the people living reality, which is your original point.
Like I said, sister is right wing and she hates Trump. Right? Yeah. She's right wing all the way down the line. Right? All hates Trump. It's not the right wing. Okay. Back to the story. We're looking at the idea of repair. One of those is environmental, looking at how new concepts might help us repair our imbalance with the natural world. So we have Robert McFarlane talking about his new book about rivers having personhood status. Let's have rivers have personhood.
Are people.
Different corporations. Corporations are people, but not
free the claimants.
It makes no sense. Yes.
This is what gives me Native American pride when we personhood to rivers.
I'm never going to get through this story. So we have Robert McFarlane, the amazing Monica Fiera Tinta, barrister for the earth on how to reset our relationship with the environment at a structural level. Yeah, you got these people with rational, inventive positions, and the people on the opposite side absolutely don't care. You think there's a disagreement with how to... See, here's the problem with these articles. You think there's a disagreement on policy. There isn't. There's a disagreement on reality. That's a real problem.
Yeah.
Anyway. You think there's a way to fix people that don't understand reality? I swear, you just keep trying to frickin' fix a broken clock that has no gears. I'm sorry, you're just.
They need to go to deprogramming. They need to be deprogrammed. Right. That's not nothing to do with reality.
You know what's wrong with that plane that's flying straight into the mountain? We need to change their minds about policy. No, they're flying into a mountain. It ain't their policy. It's their stupidity. Can you get it? Anyway, I'm sorry. More metaphors from Roger. I'm like in the red moment.
I still need to tell a joke. Yeah.
We are also looking. Right. We are also looking for how we become so divided. I will tell you again. Stupid people thinking they're smart. That's it. And how to have difficult conversations. You know what? I know I'm not smarter than everybody. I know that. It's called self-awareness. Anyway, and how to have difficult conversations with people like Ash Sarkar, A.C. Grayling, and Deborah Francis White. Philip Sands is looking for an international criminal court and reconciliation elsewhere, and a wonderful novelist, Hanif Qureshi, joins us from the hospital bed, sharing how writing has helped him repair in a very profound ways after his terrible accident in 2022. It's clear our audience are increasingly interested in participating as just listening, so we have got a full program of workshops and activities related to repair. Right, if you feel broken, man, express yourself. That'll do it for you. A lot of people. Just get that shit out there. Draw a picture. Do anything. Write a poem. Write a story. Write your life history. Anything. Just get out there and stop internalizing everything. For instance, we've got sessions on the Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken ceramics are repaired in such a way to make them more valuable. Or Booker Prize winner Eleanor Catton teaching us how you might repair a failing manuscript or novel. We've even got fermentation to repair your gut health. Oh yeah, drink that rotten juice and it'll help you digest. The festival features 648 writers from 35 countries. How does this diversity contribute to a global conversation about repair and healing? Well, we've got some real challenging geopolitical conversations in the program. Spanning events like the Middle East. Oh boy. You're going to find common ground in the Middle East. Good luck. Here's your common ground. Everybody's an idiot there. How's that? How about that? Not everybody, just the people in power.
People who want to go there are idiots.
Yeah,
politicians who want to go to the Middle East are idiots.
Yeah. God put us here. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. If God is in charge of this shit, he's fucking it up poorly, okay? Just understand that part. Hearing firsthand from writers and journalists at times of great change is a vital way of understanding the world around us, bringing seemingly distant abstract things into proper focus. It isn't all challenge, though. Some of the huge internal joy from book festivals bringing writers who specialize in imagination to audience. So hearing a brilliantly told story from a writer from somewhere you've never been, whether it's Korea, New Zealand, France, is one of the best ways to explore the world and build curiosity and empathy for the other people. On site at the festival, we got 2 little garden sheds programmed with activities for a whole duration of festivals where audience can drop in and try firsthand very practical repair tasks, including sewing, mending, bike repairs, and 3D printing. Through that work, we're getting more drawn into the repair community as an organization, too, which is brilliant, positively affecting the way it works. And one of my favorite reality shows, British reality shows, I'll end the story there, because it's already been too long. My favorite reality shows is the one where the repair shops, like the repair, you bring in some old shit and this guy can repair it. I love that shit. I forget what it's called, but I watched it a couple months ago. It was pretty cool. Anyway, time for a segue, because
okay, I got a good one here. I actually had to cover my mouth because I vocally was gonna go at this joke. Okay, here we go. I was going to make a Jonestown cult joke, but the punchline's too long.
Oh! That was good.
You.
I like that one.
Yeah. It's a very dark joke. I was gonna groan audibly.
The darker the better. I said, if you're offended by humor, you have no sense of humor.
Also, good morning, Omlin. Thank you for claiming first today's stream. I hope your Tuesday is going well. I saw that you came in during our cultist rant, but The whole point of the article is basically we need to work at solutions instead of focusing only on our problems, and more people need to get in line to work on solutions. But your argument was you can't work on solutions with people who don't even live in the reality where the solution's possible. It's kind of what you're saying. Yeah.
These people that write these articles, I say these things, think that the problem is left versus right.
Yeah.
The problem is not left versus right. Like I said, I agree with a lot of right-wingers on a lot of things now, right? Because now they decided, hey, wait a minute, let's back up here. Most of the freaking political YouTube channels I follow are former Republicans. Rick Wilson, for instance, the Lincoln Project, right, which is a bunch of former Republicans.
I remember when that came out in 2012 or whatever.
They quit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying those are the ones that doesn't make me right wing. It doesn't make me left wing. It makes me looking for real information. Yeah. That isn't completely horseshit fed to me by some billionaire who just lies consistently.
Or whatever, the shitty social media they're using.
Provable lies. Yeah. If you swallow provable lies, hook, line, and sinker, reality doesn't have much of a chance.
Yeah.
You know? It's like deprogramming, and I don't want to do that. Who wants to go around deprogramming people all day?
It's very difficult. It's a very hard job. I mean, there's people who do it for their actual job. Cult deprogramming. They have to lose everything first.
Yeah. They gotta be like these farmers in Nebraska going, "Where's all my workers?"
Our next segue is a hypothetical. So create a hypothetical story or situation based off my next one, which is... What is my next story? That's a good point.
Oh, and I sent you a video.
Yes, I heard it happen while I was reading.
Right on.
Yes, we're talking about Yu Zidi, who is only 12, but she is stunning the swim world with some of the year's fastest times. And I'm sure they're going to say, your body has different hormones, so you're disqualified because she's a woman, because only women can get disqualified for their body makeup. Men can have all sorts of mutations, and they're the perfect swimmer. No, I don't want to make it a gender issue. Men are
disqualified for steroids all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to make it a gender issue. I'm just telling a joke. Okay, this is by Stephen Wade on AP News. Yu Zidi of China is only 12 years old and will race at the World Swimming Championship later this month in Singapore. And that's amazing. For her age is only part of the picture. Not only is she very young, but her times in 3 events this year are among the best in the world. And here's the kicker. Those times would have been very close to the medals in last year's Paris Olympics. Again, she's 12. The 6th or 7th grade student, depending on the school system. Not yet a teenager, which means she has less drag. I would argue. If you're smaller, you don't have to pull so much to the water. You're lighter, you have less drag, you go faster. It makes sense to me. I think it's a great story. I don't know where it'll lead. Greg Meehan, the national team director for the American squad in Singapore, told the Associated Press, I need to slow down. My brain is moving faster than my mouth can read. The world is watching, however. As a promising young swimmers do, Yu is clocking personal bests among almost each time she competes. Her PBs are more than just confidence boosters. They put her in sight of records, medals, and stardom. Ooh. He was qualified in the 200 and 400 meter individual medleys and the 200 butterfly. She could win a medal in all 3 at the national swimming competition in Singapore. Her time of 2 minutes, 10.63 seconds in the 200, I guess melody, at the Chinese Championships in May was the fastest ever by a 12-year-old swimmer, male or female, according to World Aquatics, the global governing body of the sport. That was only the start. Her time of 2 minutes, 6 seconds, 0.83 milliseconds, and the 200 butterfly is the same meet would have placed her in 4th in last year's Paris Olympics. It was the 5th fastest time in the world this year, would have been good enough for gold in the 2024 Worlds. Again, Yu is only 12 years old. To cap off the national championship, she swam 4 minutes, 35 seconds, and 53 milliseconds in the 400 melody. The 5th fastest time of the year in the
Medley,
event.
medley.
This also would have been good for 4th
Melody's
place.
a song.
Yeah.
Medley's a combination of things. Okay, medley. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It just says I am,
Right.
but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they mean medley. I don't know what I'm not a swimmer. It just says I am, so
gotcha.
I think it's talking about
Intermediate medley. Yeah, medley.
yeah, medley, sorry. Melody.
Right.
The 5th
Sorry.
fastest time of this year's event. That also would have been
maybe she
good.
does sing while she's doing it.
Whatever. That would have been good for 4th place last year at the Olympics, at just 0.6 behind the bronze medalist Emma Wynant of the United States. The 400 is dominated by 18-year-old Canadian Summer McIntosh, who holds the world record of 4:23.65 in the 200, mark of 2 minutes 05.70. She's a generational talent, the winner of 3 gold medals in Paris. By comparison, Yu at 12 is swimming roughly 15 seconds faster in the 400 than McIntosh, and did as McIntosh did at 12. So they're saying because she's faster than McIntosh when McIntosh was 12, she's going to be faster when she gets older. They're making a lot of assumptions here that she's going to get better from here, right? She's just going to, which is putting a lot of pressure on her.
Person.
Yeah, probably the best thing.
Exactly the same person.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And she swam about
exactly
12 seconds faster in the 200. In a 50-meter pool, 12 to 15 seconds would be a half a lap of the pool, depending on the event. Yu is not the first young swimmer to excel, but it's how she's doing it, the stunning times, and the promise of more to come. Of course, there are no guarantees of success, and young swimmers can burn out. Yu said she began swimming at 6 in a water amusement park. The summer was hot. My dad took me to the water park, she told Chinese official Xinhua news agency. I enjoyed the coolness of the water and spent a lot of time in different small pools for kids. One day, a coach approached me and asked if I wanted to swim faster. The rest is history, as they say, as she explained in her event preference. Imagine if she said, "No, I'm scared of going too fast." That's scary. That's what I would say. Going fast? No, thank you. I'd like a nice moderate pace, thank you. Since I am not competitive in the sprint events, I have to choose the 400-meter and 200-meter butterfly as my favorites, Yu told Xinhua. My age is currently an advantage, and I hope to grow and develop more strength in the future. Yu trains at the Hebei Taihua Jinyi Swimming Club in Hangshui City, south of Beijing in Hebei Province. I think my Chinese pronunciation is pretty good compared to you. Al Zain Tarek of Bahrain swam in the 2015 Worlds at only 10. She finished last in her event. World Aquatics now has stricter age rules than a decade ago. Swimmers must be at least 14 unless their times meet qualification standards. In effect, this means there is no age limit. If you're a fast swimmer, you can join at 6, okay? But you have to be really good. An age limit? Yeah.
Fast is fast, man. Why would you want to denigrate people that are fast? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. If you were to win Olympic gold in 3 years in Los Angeles, she would be 15, but that wouldn't make her the youngest swimmer to take gold. Kyoko Iwasaki of Japan was 14 years and 6 days old. We're counting the days still. What are we, 12? When she won, she was 6 days old. She cooked for 6 extra days. She won gold in the 200 breaststroke at the 92 Barcelona Olympics. I wasn't even alive for that. Swimmers tend to peak.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you remember alive. I wasn't there. I wasn't even concepted. Swimmers tend to peak early, particularly females. I love when they use females as a noun. Specialty publication and website Swim Swam lists 7 swimmers, all women, who won Olympic gold before they turned 15. 3 include Iwasaki, did it in individual events, and 4 got gold in relays. American superstar Katie Ledecky was 15 years and 139 days when she won the 800 freestyle at the 12 Olympics in London, the first of her 9 gold medals over 4 Olympics. I believe Ledecky is one of the highest winning female swimmers, I think. The highest amount of golds.
Probably.
I don't know. I've heard her name before, so she must be famous or something. She's still swimming and is the overwhelming favorite to win the 1500 meter in Singapore. That Lucky has topped 23 times in history in the event, and also number 25. I don't know what that means. And also number 25.
I don't know what that means
For another jolting, I think they're saying this is her 25.
Waiting for his sandwich. He's waiting for his sandwich at the deli, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they're saying this is her 25th time going to the world. What is it called again? The World Championship or whatever. This is her 25th time. So she won 23 out of the 25 times she's gone to the event. But the way they phrased it, I was like, why does it just say NO25 like that? Not number 25, just NO25.
Hey, the writer was just waiting for her sandwich at the deli, man. I'm telling you. Anyway.
Lead Lucky, 25!
Accidentally wrote that.
Another jolting perspective, consider this. Lead Lucky first gold came several months before Yu was born. Okay, so Yu was born in 2012 on October 6th, so Lead Lucky was already swimming by the time Yu was born. I have no idea what it's like to compete abroad, Yu told Xinhua. I really want to experience the world-class competition. The world is watching, but hopefully you don't feel the freaking pressure here from Stephen Wade, who's basically her new fanboy. She's going to be amazing when she turns 14! And then she's like, I suck.
I can't wait.
And I'm now going to quit swimming.
I can't wait for all you... I can't for all insecure men to declare that she's a man for some reason.
That's the joke I made. Do you have a hypothetical? I guess that's your hypothetical, right? Your hypothetical.
I know associate.
She can't be that fast.
Oh, you said associate. Was it hypothetical or was it associate?
It was a hypothetical. It was hypothetical.
Oh. Okay. Well, Nadia Comaneci is my example, right? I said 11 when she won those perfect 10s, but she was actually 14 when she won those perfect 10s. I think they might even lied about her age. It was a Soviet.
They do that sometimes.
But anyway, 4 years later, she went back to the Olympics in Moscow. And she was really, 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 really much taller. And she could not pull off all the moves she could when she was a little girl. Right, so she did not get any perfect 10s, although she won some gold medals. She was still top gymnast in the world, one of them. But it goes away with age sometimes. Anyway,
that's true. So. I mean, and like I said, right? She's small now. She could get taller. She could go through some hormone stuff and gain a lot of weight. It happens.
Oh
the body is a magical thing.
Yeah, she's going through puberty now, so who knows? She might get a growth spurt. She might, get. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
What kind of chemical stuff's going on in her body? It might change everything, yeah. Boobies, for instance, right? Once she gets boobies, it's going to be harder, more buoyant.
Well, of course, she's Chinese, and they're not exactly known for their hefty chests. There are some people out there, but...
Yeah, maybe her trainers are just bind her up with
I think usually if you're very athletic when you're young, you actually... Who knows about China? That's a thing. I don't know if it's a scientific thing, but they do say if you're athletic as a child, you tend to not end up growing as much in that area. Because you have a really low fat percentage when you're athletic. That's just a fact. Uh-huh. But you don't really start growing that heavy fat percentage until after puberty when you're a woman. I'm not a biologist.
My hypothetical would be yes. My hypothetical is yes. She's probably never going to swim this fast when she gets older. I'm just guessing. But anyway, unless she just builds up muscle in sync with that growing. Right?
Yeah.
All the growing, she builds up those
very
muscles.
Very tough training ahead, probably.
Right? It's got to be, it's got to be constantly adapting to your growing body at that age. Okay. Sorry.
My next story, because I have another one. I got another one. Do I have another one? Maybe I'm lying. Oh, no, I do have another one. This one should be a shorter story, and it's about two halves of a fossil meeting each other, and because they've met each other, we've discovered a new species. Mm-hmm. We have both sides of the puzzle, and now we know what it is. This is from Andy Corbally on Good News Network, my last story from Good News Network. The story of how Spinodraco scandidentis came to be known is one for the ages, involving lies and deceit. The well-trained eye of a brilliant paleontology student. PhD student Victor Bacardi couldn't shake the feeling he had seen the fossil before. It was a slab of rock containing the impression of a Jurassic period reptile housed at London Natural History Museum. Oh no, London again, stealing fossils.
No, geez, here we go.
It was during the same visit that he realized where, at Seckenberg Natural History Museum in Frankfurt. So Bacardi followed his instincts and confirmed that each museum contained a half of the whole. One had the fossil, and the other had the imprint it made on the prehistoric sediment. It seemed that someone in the 1930s decided to double their profit by selling both halves separately, Bacardi said in a museum statement. As they didn't tell the other buyer that there was another half, the connection between the two fossils had been lost until now. These kind of fossils are normally preserved flat, so when they split open, you often get the skeleton in one half and the impression of the skeleton in the other. When the two halves were reunited, something more was revealed. Other than intergenerational deception and buyer's remorse, neither museum had identified it correctly. Previously labeled Homosaurus maximiliani, it actually is a new species of ancient lizard that dwelt among the trees. Phenodreco scanadentis, as the specimen has been renamed, is the earliest known member of the order Rhinosophalia to have lived in trees. So they're both lizards that lived in trees, but they're different lizards, okay? Trust me, I'm a paleontologist. These ancient lizard-like reptiles are actually not true lizards, but a third major reptile order alongside snakes and lizards. There's a living member of this order today called the Tuatara that lives in New Zealand. So what is it, the only living, not reptile, not snake? What does it look like? Oh, yeah. Okay, that looks weird. Kind of looks like an iguana, honestly. Supposedly it's still considered a reptile, but it's just not a lizard and it's not a snake. It's somewhere in the middle. Bacardi's subsequent work on the Scanadentis showed that it had a short body, long limbs, and long forefingers, similar to the Draco gliding lizards today. Draco gliding lizards, what does that look like? I'm just going to be looking at pictures of lizards now. Oh yeah, okay. It's that lizard that has that really long tail, like a super long tail, like a rat's tail. And obviously the gliding wings. That part was obvious. It strongly suggests an arboreal lifestyle, and it would be the oldest rhinocephalian known to live in trees. One of the key places on Earth for studying this genus is on the area of German rocks known as the Solnhofen limestone. During the late Jurassic, this region would have been a chain of islands across a subtropical sea. And it just so happens that it's where the Seckenberg Museum specimen came from. Although the fossils are well preserved, they've not all been studied in detail. Many of the historic descriptions are somewhat vague, focusing on characteristics that are fairly broad across a variety of animals. Well, it's got a tail and a tongue and it has a skeleton. Okay, well, it's an animal. You know that much. I think we're really underestimating the diversity of these animals, Bacardi said. In a lot of cases, fossils coming from the same place that look somewhat similar get lumped together. So everything with longer limbs was called Homosaurus, and everything with shorter limbs was called a Calimodon. The closer you look at these animals have been studied in the past, the more you would appreciate that the species aren't that well defined. We know that modern islands can have hundreds of species of reptiles, so there's no reason that ancient islands didn't too. I mean, if you know any paleontologists, they're the first ones to tell you, we probably only know about like 1% of all dinosaurs that ever lived. Because the thing about a fossil is, first of all, you have to get a dinosaur that dies in something that will make a fossil. Tar, sediment, limestone. If it doesn't die there, you know what happens? The world recycles all its bones into carbon and you never see those bones again, right? They're gone. So there's probably tons and tons of skeletons that are just recycled back into atoms. Matter, you know? Pooped out by a worm. Never to be seen again. Or I guess in our case, turned into oil, right? Sludged down into oil.
No calcium.
Yeah.
Great deal of bones are calcium, but yeah.
I'm going back over existing fossils to look for signs that other currently accepted species might cover multiple rhinocephalians. There are still a number of undescribed specimens that may also represent a new species as well. It goes to show just how important museum collections are to understanding ancient diversity. Even though many of these fossils were discovered almost 2 centuries ago, there's still lots they can teach us. Good News Network recently reported on other instances like this, as well as a tyrannosaurid that had been sat in a museum drawer for 50 years, and a small riverside dinosaur that had been poorly described for 150 years. Hey, we all make mistakes. Archaeology and paleontology is all guessing, really. Because we don't even really know what the dinosaurs look like, because we don't have any of the fat sacs that might have been, around their necks or around their bellies. We're just guessing, right? We're seeing dinosaurs that they could be related to, or lizards that they could be related to, and saying, maybe it used to look like this, but bigger? Maybe it's just a giant iguana? I don't know. We have no idea. All of it's guessing, so sometimes you get it wrong. That's my story.
Okay, hypothetical. We're doing a lot of these regenerations of once extinct species. I think somebody just regenerated another extinct lizard.
Yeah.
How do we know that people aren't just doing this on their own without telling the authorities, right? They're just going out there and splicing genes together and making these creatures and saying, yeah, we got a new animal. It just appeared. Anyway.
A hypothetical
Jurassic Park,
splicing.
man.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park. The Jurassic Park, except not an official, official laboratory, just some guy, like Frankenstein's lab out there. All right, so
let's
that's
look at our next segue.
That's what I always say about the lone wolf terrorist type, right? The Unabomber type. All right, so spin the wheel. You're going to talk about dead batteries.
Metaphor simile.
EnergyReporters.com has this story. These dead batteries are powered by AI now. Are powering AI. I'm sorry. U.S. companies revive used electric vehicle packs to feed explosive demand for data energy. Most of the data energy that's needed is for cryptocurrency, but whatever. It's not necessarily AI. In a pioneering step towards a more sustainable future, General Motors and Redwood Materials have announced a partnership aimed at tackling one of electric vehicle industry's most pressing environmental challenges, the disposal and repurposing of used EV batteries. By transforming retired automotive battery packs into large-scale energy storage system, this collaboration not only addresses the upcoming influx of first-generation EV batteries, but also plays a crucial role in enhancing energy resilience, with a project already operational in Sparks, Nevada, where the repurposed GM batteries power a 63 megawatt-hour microgrid. This initiative sets the stage for a new era of sustainable energy solutions. Microgrids, which are localized power grids capable of independent operation, are merging as a cornerstone of reliable energy sources. That's right. Why do you need some big centralized giant power plant? You can provide enough energy for your neighborhood right there in your neighborhood. It makes too much sense. And big corporations can't get rich on it. Well, maybe they can.
Don't let the people that they can do stuff for themselves. They need us to give us money so we can become rich.
But if you run an AI data center, this is perfect for it, right? You have your own little built-in power system that you just bought a bunch of used batteries for pennies on the dollar. They offer highly dependable, uninterrupted power, crucial for energy-intensive applications such as AI data centers. As the demand for electricity in the United States continues to grow, driven largely by the expansion of AI data centers, microgrids are increasingly seen as a vital component of the national energy strategy. The partnership between GM and Redwood Materials growing need by repurposing EV batteries into energy storage systems that can mitigate power outages and reinforce the grid during peak demand time or limited supply periods. These storage systems help prevent valuable materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel from ending up in landfill. I don't know who throws giant frickin' EV batteries in landfill. Pretty sure that's illegal and you will get a giant fine. So
if they find you,
I'm not sure why. I'm just saying, but it's a giant frickin' battery. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it isn't like it's some little tiny radio battery or something. Anyway, most of the time you'll get a deposit back on your battery anyway, in the States anyway. You just don't throw batteries away. You take them to the automotive store, and they have a place to dispose of them. You take the battery, there's actually battery specialty stores will take your battery and they repurpose them or dispose of them properly or whatever. Whoever's dumping them in a dump just don't give a shit about their own planet. But by providing a sustainable and economical alternative, not only second life for EV batteries, but also contributes to, I did this already. Redwood Materials is spearheading effort to integrate these used batteries in storage solutions. Sourcing parts from GM's extensive network of dealerships and dismantlers, Redwood ensures that batteries which cannot be directly repurposed are fully recycled. This process involves recovery of critical raw materials, which are then reintroduced into manufacturing supply chain. Creating a closed-loop system. Such a system is pivotal to GM's sustainability strategy as it addresses the impending wave of first-generation EV batteries reaching the end of their life cycle. So there's your good news about not just throwing these things. We're going to use them and then we're going to recycle them completely. That is the plan. That is called sustainability. If you don't have sustainability, you're just ruining the planet, and I don't want to know you.
I agree completely.
You got a metaphor?
You gotta, if you need power, you gotta figure out a way to get it. Because, like all our power right now is heat based, and it can go out like the sun can go out if you drain all the energy away. So, there's my metaphor.
Our consumption itself generates heat. Power is a measurement of heat in some way. All right, so we're going to do another story, and Good Tues Newsday. Space.com has this story. Yeah, if you feel like you ain't got enough time to do stuff today, there's probably a reason. This is going to be a very short day. Not very short, but shorter than yesterday. Space.com, Earth will spin faster today to create a second shortest day in history. Yikes! How much shorter? Well, Jamie Carter's going to tell us. Our planet has been rotating at its fastest since records began in 1973. Earth will complete a full rotation in slightly less time than usual today, July 22nd, making it one of the shortest days ever recorded. The difference will be just 1.34 milliseconds less than the standard 24 hours. Not something you'll notice. I don't know, I might notice it. But if it's part of the puzzling trend in Earth rotational behavior that has been unfolding in recent years, I think I know why. It's probably because the moon's pulling away. Hello? The moon slows us down, everybody.
Don't leave.
All right. No, don't leave us, Mooney. We just getting to know you. If it continues 1 second may need to be subtracted from the atomic clocks around 2029 if the world's still around. A so-called negative leap second, which has never been done before. Whoa, we're adjusting our clocks backwards now.
Wow.
This is great. This should have been on Weird. Like I said, this should have been on Weird Wednesday, but hey, it's happening today on Good Tues Newsday, not tomorrow. The speed of Earth's rotation isn't fixed. Long ago, a day was much shorter than 24 hours, or 86,400 seconds. We're now accustomed to. According to a 2023 study, a day on Earth was approximately 19 hours for a significant part of Earth's early history due to a balance between solar atmospheric tides and lunar ocean tides. That's crazy. However, over deep time, a day on Earth has become consistently longer. The primary culprit has been tidal friction from the moon, which has caused it to gradually move farther away from Earth. I just brought that up. As it moves away, the moon saps Earth's rotational energy, causing Earth's rotation to slow and days to lengthen. I thought it would be the other. So why the sudden reverse? I thought it would be the other way. I thought it would speed up. So it saps our rotational energy.
Think about it a little. Think about it a little bit more. If we're going left, if we're going left, and then suddenly we go right, that means the distance from getting to A to B is going to increase because we're now going the opposite direction that we were going before, right? If we've lost now I'm getting myself confused. The days get
Okay,
longer
let's just finish the
because
story.
instead of reaching the day in 24 hours, right, we're reaching the day in 24 and a second. It's taking an extra second to reach the end of the day. That's why the days are longer. There's an extra second added because it's reversing direction.
We've been adding a second every once in a while. Right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to help you understand why it's getting longer. We're just going right.
I understand it.
Yeah. Okay.
I understand it. I just think they're wording it wrong.
Yeah.
I think they're wording it wrong. From the record, okay, here's what I'm saying. If the moon is there slowing down our rotation and stopping its rotation completely, how is pulling it farther away slowing our rotation when it being closer slows our rotation? That makes virtually no sense to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so, no, I'm not an astrophysicist.
From when records began with the invention of the I'm going to ask Neil deGrasse Tyson, because he's got to know. From when records began with the invention of the atomic clock, in 1973 until 2020, the shortest day ever recorded was 1.5 milliseconds less than 24 hours, according to timeanddate.com. It doesn't tell me what day that is. Oh, yes, it does. But since 2020, Earth has repeatedly broken its own speed records. The shortest day ever measured occurred July 5th last year, when Earth's rotation was completed 1.66 milliseconds faster than usual. So it's spinning faster. I don't know why you say it's spinning slower. It makes no sense. The article contradicts itself. Looking ahead to 2025, scientists predict that on July 9th, July 22nd, and August 5th could be the shortest days of the year. However, new data suggests that July 10th took the lead as the shortest day so far this year, clocking in at 1.36 milliseconds, less than 20 hours. And July 22nd, Earth is expected to complete its spin 1.34 milliseconds early, making a close runner-up. If current predictions hold, August 5th will be about 1.25 milliseconds shorter than usual, leaving July 22nd as the second shortest day of the year. So August 5th going to be even shorter, so get ready for that one. There are signs the acceleration may be easing. The rate of decrease in day length appears to be slowing, but the underlying cause of the recent rotational changes remains elusive. So they're not claiming they know why. They don't know. Okay. One 2024 study suggested that the melting polar ice and rising sea levels may influence the Earth's spin. However, rather than driving acceleration, this redistribution of mass might be moderating it. A more likely culprit is deep below our feet, the slowing of Earth's liquid core, which could be redistributing angular momentum away and make mantle and crust spin slightly faster. Don't forget, our magnetic north is constantly moving, so that probably has something to do with it too. The cause of acceleration is not explained. Leonid Zotov, a leading authority in Earth rotation at Moscow State University, told timeanddate.com, most scientists believe that it's something inside the Earth. Ocean and atmospheric models don't explain this huge acceleration. Zotov predicts Earth rotation may soon decelerate once again. If he's right, the sudden speeding up could prove just to be a temporary anomaly in the planet's long-term trend for slower rotation and longer day. There you go. Your story on Earth. Here and there, once in a while. If you missed those 1.34 microseconds.
I was late. I'm not late. We lost 1.34 milliseconds, okay? I'm not late. You're late. Your clock's not right.
Yeah. Yesterday I wasted exactly 1.34 milliseconds and didn't make any difference at all in my day. Hey.
Your cells were affected, probably.
Where's your segue?
Yeah, I mean, losing 1 millisecond is like, losing a skin cell. Oh God, I needed that. One of my pieces of hair fell off.
Hey,
I'm bald now.
They say every second counts. They don't say every millisecond counts.
No, they never do they? They don't. So, of course, we've got scientists yet again arguing. What is the cause of this? We don't know. Nobody knows.
The problem with time is that time is infinite, but people always say they're running out of it. That doesn't make any sense. All right, so
our next segue is mixed metaphor for my culture segment. We're going to talk about a feel-good movie that you might want to watch so that you feel good today on Good Tues Newsday. This is by Anya Ryan, so this is her opinion, but I agree this is a good movie. On The Guardian, greatest teen movie ever. Why Angus, Thongs, and Perfect Snogging is Anya Ryan's feel-good movie. Last year, it took her a grand total of 3 weeks to make the olive costume. Georgia Nicholson's papier-mâché creation from Angus, Thongs, and Perfect Snogging. Night and day, she slaved away, dipping strips of newspaper into a mix of flour and water, then patting it onto a giant-sized balloon. Never has she defined herself as anything close to artsy. But why did she decide to dedicate a significant portion of her life to an elaborate craft project? The answer, of course, is simple. The olive costume is iconic and as the signature feature of the greatest teen movie ever made, according to Anya. Just ask any girl who grew up in Britain in the noughties. I mean, I didn't grow up in Britain in the noughties, but I watched this movie as a teenager. So, just this more proof that I'm an Anglophile, basically. I'm just watching British media as a teenager. And they'll recognize the image. Georgia Nicholson, played by Georgia Groom, frantically running through the streets of Eastbourne, dressed as a mammoth green horse, hors d'oeuvre. Angus, Thongs, and Perfect Snogging, the film based on the first 2 books in Louise Rennison's series, was studied at Anya's teenage sleepovers. They pored over it, reciting its lines as if they were from a sacred text. Even now, she can reel off the classic quotes without thinking. Boys don't like girls for funniness. Boys don't like girls for funniness. If you didn't already know. Directed by Gurinder Chadha, the film encapsulated the essence of girlhood, with all its sweaty, palmed anxieties and humiliations. 14-year-old Georgia is riding through the roller coaster of... Why did I say Georgia when it's Georgia? Georgia is riding through the roller coaster of adolescence in all of its glory. There are birthday parties to plan, boys to stalk and fall head over heels for, and embarrassing mums and dads to control. To the 12-year-old version of Anya, these were the important issues. So freshly released from her parents' clutches, her friends and them joined the cinema queues to meet their soon-to-be idol. Georgia Nicholson spoke for all of us about mistakenly shaving eyebrows in the hope of being caught wearing huge knickers, a hero of our age and time. With its killer soundtrack featuring the likes of the Maccabees, Rumble Strips, and Lily Allen, it became the film that defined the summer of 2008. They watched the film religiously, on their own or all together, copying the games Georgia and the Ace Gang played and rating their limited sexual experiences on the Snogging scale they devised. The Ace Gang had characteristics that were recognized in themselves. They were people ashamed of their very existence, but desperate to climb into adult life. Over the years, the film's narrative became an easy point of comparison. When the first of Anya's female friends got a boyfriend and became significantly less interested in the rest of us, she was a traitor, just like Jazz in the movie. Fake tan mishaps turned their skin a shade even cheesier than Georgia's what's-its-legs. Recently, Anya heard that a boy she had known was writing a song about someone he was dating. Let's hope it's more ultra-violent than a bitch in a uniform, Anya had joked with a friend. Why exactly did it seep into their vernacular? Maybe it was because it was the first film they saw that took their teenage problems seriously. While others treated girls' stresses as something trivial, Chanda's movie made them feel epic on the scale they actually felt them. Watching Georgia worry about passing off as a normal was refreshing, and in times of crisis, like if Anya had to argue with one of her friends, or the boy she was obsessing over that school year got a new girlfriend, I'd play the movie again and again. Importantly, for the spiraling young minds, Angus, Thongs, and Perfect Snogging was not all doom and gloom, and even provided with glimmers of hope. Because guess what? The ending proves that Georgia's sex god boyfriend Robbie actually likes her just the way she is. This somehow meant that they might be okay as themselves. Oh, I don't have to be some sexy slut. I can just be my normal self, and he still likes me. The hormonal chaos of teenagehood now feels long ago, but a session... That was my problem with my first boyfriend, by the way, if I want to share a little story. I was who I was, and I wasn't going to change for anybody, and that's why they broke up with me. I was not gonna change into some sort of, 14-year-old sex slave or whatever the hell 14-year-old boys want you to be. I was like, nah, I'm not really interested in having sex. Oh, I'm good. Well, I'm breaking up with you and dating the high school slut. I mean, she was the school slut. That's what she was known for, and she was proud.
Hey.
Good for her for being proud as the school slut. Somebody has to be it, You might as well be proud of it. And but that's how easy teenage boys are, right? Teenage boys will always just be like, well, if you're not going to sleep with me, I'm going to sleep with a school slut. And then, ha! Yeah, I'm a man now.
Think of her as the food taster. Think of her as a food taster for everybody else, right?
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, as soon as you go down that level of like, I'm just going to date anyone who will give it to me, it's like, okay, so you have no standards. You just want to have sex. Wow, you're so cool, dude. Yeah.
Basically, teenage boys in a nutshell.
Yeah, 100%. But just in case nobody's heard that before, there's your notification. Right. Anyways, the hormonal chaos of teenagehood now feels long ago, but a session watching Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging takes on you right back to the era of the Motorola Razr phones, fluorescent colored tights, and when kissing with tongues felt like a terrifying milestone. It was a time that felt truly mortifying, but gloriously eye-opening too. And so I tried to relive it, for nostalgia's sake. Like Georgia, I wore my olive costume to a fancy dress party, where many of the other guests were dressed as devils and cats. But unlike Georgia, my outfit was well received. Celebrated even, by basically every woman in attendance. That's the magic of Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging for, at least, her generation. Probably my generation too, if I was British. I think if I made any references to this in America, they'd be like, huh? They wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about, but it reminds me of the joyous madness of our school days, when everything was awkward, messy, and packed with heat. Sorry, packed with heart, not with heat. That's a different film. Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging is a great feel-good movie to make you relive the cringiness of your teenage life, and maybe be like, wow, sure, I'm glad I got past that bullshit, because it was all not that important. But at the time, it seemed like life or death, right? Yep. Oh my god, Robbie might not like me and might not want to kiss me. My life is over. It's really not over.
No!
And if you just talk to people, you find out they like you just as you are.
Man, usually you're dodging a bullet with these guys.
100%. I'm just lucky to have been stubborn enough to not roll over like a freaking dog. And some people aren't.
Well, you were raised right. What can I say?
Hey, you can say that, actually. You're literally the one who can say that. Pat yourself on the back.
I can't pat myself on the back. I just strained my elbow trying to pat myself on the back.
That's what you get for being not being humble, I guess.
I'm joking. And this only goes to prove the old saying, when life gives you paper mache, make a movie that confuses adults.
A giant cocktail olive. Perfect. Okay, let's go to our day in history. Tie off this show down before we have this ad break in 7 minutes and roll our segue.
Holy crap, there's no way I can squeeze this through in 7 minutes. There's a video of 3 minutes. 1456 on this day in history. Did you spin the wheel?
I did. It is.
You let me know.
Give me a sec. It's loading in. Remind me of a song. So remind me of a song.
Hey, 1456, which is a long damn time. Well, Hungarian forces led by János Hunyadi, including an untrained army of peasants, won the most remarkable victories in the history of Turkish wars, resisting the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II's siege of Belgrade. So this took place in what is probably, where's Belgrade? Is in Serbia, right?
Yes.
Modern Serbia. 1812, the Duke of Wellington defeated 40,000 Frenchmen in 40 minutes at Salamanca, Spain, during the Pennsylvania Peninsular War. I don't think he did it by himself.
And then he rolled them all into a Wellington and ate them.
He made some beef Wellington when he was done. That's right. The guy defeated Napoleon eventually, so maybe he beat 40,000 Frenchmen, right? Salamanca, named from Breaking Bad, right? Hector Salamanca. 1923, Bob Dole was born. Happy birthday to Bob Dole. He's 102 today. U.S. Senator from Kansas, Republican congressional leader and party's candidate for presidency in 1996. He was a decent Republican. Too bad the Republicans just kind of threw him out there as a sacrificial lamb because Bill Clinton was quite popular in 1996. In 1923, American baseball player Walter Johnson became the first pitcher in Major League Baseball to strike out 3,000 batters. They weren't 3,000 different batters, though. I'm sure he struck out the same guy more than once. His career record of 3,508 strikeouts stood until 1983. That's the problem I have with their verbiage in this. It says he struck out 3,000 batters. No, he didn't. He recorded 3,000 strikeouts. If he struck 3,000 batters, that would be 3,000 individual people struck, which I know didn't happen. It isn't like, oh no, that guy struck out in the third inning and I can't strike him out again today. Count. Anyway, correct your English. Britannica. Anyway, 1933, Wiley Post. Wiley Post, do we know what that is? He's the guy that died with Will Rogers in a plane in Alaska.
Really?
Actually killed Will Rogers. Yeah.
He killed him?
Airport in, there's an airport.
Oh, is this the idea that he was flying the plane so he murdered him thing?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
You killed Will Rogers, dude. Anyway, Wiley Post completed the first solo flight around the world. He covered 15,596 miles in 7 days, 18 hours, and 49 minutes. An American hero, but unfortunately, I think there's an airport in Oklahoma named after Wiley Post. Also, the main airport in Oklahoma City is named after Will Rogers because he died in an airplane disaster. 1943, led by U.S. General George S. Patton, Allied forces took Palermo in the northwest corner of Sicily, giving them a strategic foothold from which to invade mainland Italy during World War II. And we kicked Italy's ass, that one. And they had to go, hey, we got to get rid of this idiot fascist Benito. In 1946, violent Jewish right-wing underground movement in Palestine, the Irgun. You know, it was called Palestine in 1946. Not a lot of people remember that. It was not called Israel. The Irgun Zavai Luimi blew up the wing of the King David Hotel in Jerusalem, killing 91 soldiers and civilians. So, one man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter. I wonder if they call that guy a terrorist now. I don't know. 1959, the sci-fi film Planet 9 from Outer Space was released in America. It's starring Bela Lugosi and directed by Ed Wood Jr., considered by some of the most inept director in film history, which I think is stupid. Was released in American theaters, described as the worst movie ever made. It became a classic. Again, the worst movie ever made is constantly changing. 1992, Pablo Escobar, his brother, I think, I don't know. There probably isn't a Pedro. Colombian drug trafficker Pablo Escobar met his fate on this day. And when he was killed, wait. Oh no, he escaped. He wasn't killed on this day. He escaped from police custody as he faced transfer from La Cathedral, a luxurious prison that he had built, to a more secure facility. He remained a fugitive until 1993 when he was killed during a shootout with law enforcement. So this is the day he escaped, not the day he was, basically assassinated by American drug agents. Because they were tired of it, right? It's like, And actually, Escobar is more popular than the police for quite a while. 2011, terrorist attacks on Ocelot on the island of Utoya in Norway resulted in the deaths of 77 people. Anders Bering Breivik later confessed to an attack. So hopefully they did something to that guy. More terrorism. 2013, Prince George Alexander Louis of Cambridge, the first child of Prince William and Duke of Cambridge, and supposedly the first future King of England, and Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, is born in London. So happy birthday to him. He's all 12 years old. Not a worry in the world. Imagine being 12 years old and it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about shit my entire life. 1977 is our featured event. Deng Xiaoping. Remember Deng Xiaoping?
No, I don't remember him.
The Chinese Communist Party leader. After falling from favor during the Cultural Revolution, which was 66 to 76, Deng Xiaoping returned to power on this day in 1977 after Chinese Communist Party reinstated all of its former high posts, including that of vice premier. Why did they do this? Well, it's because Mao Zedong died in 1976. So there you are. We don't have Mao anymore. We're going to try to crawl out of this mess. And it's been a long struggle ever since. I mean,
it's still a struggle.
Good luck, China. Right. Good luck with your totalitarianism. I'm being sarcastic. Our feature biography is Friedrich Wilhelm Bessel, German astronomer. Bessel, yes, I've heard of him. He was born July 22nd, 1784, died 61 years later in 1846, at the age of 61 anyway, in Prussia. Born in Minden. Died in 1846.
Bessel helped contribute to correcting the seconds pendulum. He's the one who helped give an actual calculation to what a second is. There's one of the things he helped do.
And he is born on a day which is the shortest day in the history of recorded time. Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Crazy.
Wow, what a coincidence. What a coinky dink, as they call it today. Other birthdays today, Oscar de la Renta, Dominican fashion designer, born in 1932. That would make him 93. Albert Brooks, hilarious American actor, comedian, writer, and director, 47. His name is not actually Albert Brooks. His real birth name is Albert Einstein. I wonder why I changed it. Yeah, it's Albert Einstein.
That though. Albert Einstein isn't a new film. What the hell? I need to see this. Oh, it's not Albert Einstein. Different Albert Einstein.
Right. And his brother is named Super Dave Osborne. His name is Dave Einstein. He changed his name to Dave Einstein when the Super Dave thing wore off. But yeah. Super Dave has passed away. But Albert Brooks, I believe, is still with us. And today he's turning 78. It's also the birthday of Willem Dafoe, who is from Wisconsin. I know that. Willem Dafoe, great actor. Great actor. He's comedy, drama.
So good at getting into his roles. You forget it's him.
And happy birthdays to Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez is turning 33 today. Now I really feel
yeah, so you remember watching her on TV as a child. Yeah.
Right on. Happy birthday to Selena Gomez. In her second career on Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
Right.
In her cooking show. She has so many things she's still doing. Yeah, and her music career is still going.
Multi-diversified career. Our national days today: National Hammock Day, National Mango Day, or is it Spanish language mango? National Mango Day, National Penuche Fudge Day. I don't know what that is, but it's food. National Fragile X Awareness Day.
It's Portugal fudge.
Looks like
that's what it is. A lot of brown sugar fudge.
Right.
Some people add pecans.
National X Awareness.
Yeah,
Fragile
the X chromosome. We all have one. Woohoo! X awareness.
Fragile X is a mutation of the FMR1 gene. Is found for this. It impacts men more than women, so it's men get the stupid gene more often.
It's probably from the male Gaia. That's why, right? It's carried in the sperm, not in the egg. It's not carried in the egg. It's carried in the sperm.
Ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And again, it's a cause, or as what they allege.
Mhm.
Attention deficit disorder, hyperactive, autism, anxiety, poor eyesight, basically every personal fault that any human could ever have. They're going to blame it on this gene.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it is very
But,
important that your genes aren't split in half. So yeah, it makes sense that if you're
and biting.
yeah.
Yeah, it triggers some disorder that could be an eating disorder, just about anything, I suppose, learning disability. I think it's caused
It's a
by
mutation, and
microplastics. I'm gonna
sometimes
go with that.
mutations cause different things. Yeah.
I think microplastics are making us stupid, and this might be the key, right? Anyway, well,
Maybe.
that's it. That's all of our
Microplastics
crap
in your
today. All
sperm
of our
causing fragile X
mispronunciations.
syndrome. Yeah.
Well, it probably could be stored in egg cell too, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just assuming
Who knows?
because it
right?
says
A
it's mostly
mutation's
found
a
in men.
mutation.
Oh no, I guess it couldn't be. You're right. Maybe it is in women.
Well, you need two halves for a mutation to work. They both have to meet up, right? You can't have one that's recessive, one that's dominant, because it's dominant most of the time.
We are not
Okay,
geneticists.
No,
To confirm, we are not scientists.
I did.
We're the
I did-
reason people
I
don't
did ace
understand how
biology in
mRNA works.
I did ace biology in college, so I'm just
Oh,
going to go
okay.
on that strength of that, understanding how it works. You know, at least I understand how recessive and dominant work. And if a mutation is a recessive gene, and two recessive genes get together, it's going to get passed on. That's how that works. Anyway, that's everything for today. Mispronunciations, your jokes, man, we didn't do any puns, did we? No
No,
puns. Wow, what a
except
weird
for
day.
maybe my joke
Yeah,
about
we did.
the punchline. That was a pun.
Oh yeah.
Punchline. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Our random occurring sentences and our random occurring discussions, all that stuff for today on July 22nd, 2025 on Before Mangoes.
Hell yeah, delicious. Have some mangoes. I also want to point out Bessel was the reason that Neptune and Uranus was discovered. That's probably his biggest thing to his. He didn't like specifically discover it, but because of his work on microscopes, right? He's given like a posthumous celebration of helping to
Credit?
discover
Yeah.
Neptune and Uranus. So
Yeah, dig him up and give him a high five.
hell yeah!
That's right. He's the man. Right on. Oh,
Good job,
shoot.
Bessel.
My high five knocked off your hand. Wow.
There are no international
Knocked off your
UN
hand with my
celebrations
iPad.
today, so I have nothing to force you to celebrate in our world. So make sure that you just
You're on your
drink
own.
water, wear sunscreen, take care of yourselves out there. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel
No,
or
wait.
follow on Twitch so you are here tomorrow for our Wacky and Weird Wednesday, which I'm sure we already have the story. I already have a story for Wacky and Weird Wednesday, so I'm
one.
sure you do too. So if you would like to
Just
see
one
what
so far.
weird stuff is going on in the world, whether it be animals, human beings, or just the planets around us, check that out. We will see you tomorrow. And here is our mic drop moment.
A young girl who thought she would be
All
going
right.
to jail instead
But for some
ended up
reason I
going
cannot hear.
to
I don't know
Yale.
why.
ABC's Lindsay Davis has more on the 9-year-old who was
You gotta turn it
honored
up.
by the Ivy
Let me
League
see.
school.
9-year-old Bobby Wilson is an environment
Really quiet.
enthusiast.
Maybe
Last
put closed
October, in an
captioning
effort
up.
to save the trees in her New
I can hear
Jersey
it if I put my
neighborhood from the
headphones
spotted lanternfly,
Oh, here we go, the
she's testing a
Lanternfly.
natural
Yeah.
homemade insect spray.
Yes, good job.
Bobby even stomped them as part of a campaign to see it squish it.
Stomped
She was
them.
Trying to kill
hunting
lanternflies.
and using the spray to combat the invasive insects that feed on trees. But her efforts were cut short when a police officer arrived after receiving a
Brilliant.
complaint from a neighbor.
Brilliant
The
kid.
neighbor
Oh, here
reported
comes a
fifth grader
racist.
as a
Ruin
suspicious
everything.
person.
Yeah.
The incident made the news.
Some
catching
black
the
girl is
attention of
having
God,
fun
she's
destroying
black.
bugs.
University School of Public Health,
Yeah.
who decided to recognize and honor the young scientist. Professor
But I guess
Benjamin
because she got
O'Hara
arrested, she
telling
got a
the
huge
audience,
spotlight,
"Yale
so
doesn't
thanks."
normally do anything like this. This is something unique to Bobby.
She got
We
harassed
wanted to
anyway. I
show
don't know
her
if she
her
got
bravery
arrested.
and how inspiring she is, and we just want to make sure she feels honored and loved.
Bet you the
Professor
cops showed up in like
O'Hara
3 seconds
organized an
to.
event to
Yeah.
celebrate Bobby and introduce her to other black female scientists.
Oh shit, we got a
Hell
chance to
yeah.
shoot somebody. Let's go.
At Yale's Peabody Museum,
Something good out of
Bobby
something
cataloged
bad.
and
We love
mounted a
that.
collection of 27 spotted
Good work.
lanternflies. Her
Give her
collection is
a
now
full
officially
scholarship.
entered
Seriously.
into the museum's database, where it will forever be associated with her name as the donor
Hell
scientist.
yeah, that's pretty
Bobby's
cool.
message to us all tonight.
I want to let every young boy or every young girl or even adults know that nobody can knock you off your way to success. And
Yeah, fuck the haters.
Our part to save the environment, just like me.
And
Thanks, Bobby. So inspirational.
Bobby continues as she has received an
And also, you can train your
environmental
dog to
award from
find
her
these
town. And at least
Lanternfly
one science
masses,
writer has
too,
given
so
Bobby a collection of books
you don't
and
have to
stickers
be
to
some
encourage her passion for learning.
really
We wish her
smart
all the best.
12-year-old or whatever,
Hello, I'm
10-year-old
Mark Brown.
in order
Get
to
more great ABC
save your
7
environment.
content by clicking the subscribe
You can even,
button for our
all you have to
YouTube
do is have a
channel
dog,
and download
really.
the
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.